This is Bait, life outside the federal witness protection program. Shit rolls downhill. Hey, it's Suze, and welcome to today's episode of Life Outside WITSEC. Hey, nice to see ya. Boy, I should have done this video a few hours ago when my makeup was a little fresher, because right now I'm like looking at myself doing this and I'm going, oh my God, I need to redo it, but I'm like, oh, hell with it. You know what? It helps you, the everyday person, get a sense of what I have to go through on a daily basis. Okay, so here's the deal. There's, you know what? Someone in my situation, there's not really a right answer. Okay, I got to deal with a lot of organized crime. I got to deal with a lot of assholes. Plus, I got this whole FBI task force in trouble, and we got the everybody loves the FBI syndrome in America, including local law enforcement. And, they pay off everybody. So, my situation's hella damn dangerous. Okay, so the only person that I know that can yell at these people is Congress. But trying to convince Congress to get them to stop abusing me, because if they could just stop abusing me, that would certainly cut down on all the reporting that I would have to do to everybody else. I mean, we already have enough crime. We had enough crime when ICE attorney Elliot Williams wrote that congressional response letter. There was plenty of damn crime already. And in the last 4 years, they have been on a wildfire, damn, lighting up, bombing every kind of damn which way but loose, and everybody that they possibly can on everything. I mean, it is unreal what they have done. So then now trying to convince Congress of this has been extremely difficult. You know what? And I can't really figure out why. I just don't really know if they just don't know the case or if their staff members don't take it seriously. But anyway, I've been through so many members of Congress, and I keep doing so because the Secret Service, they keep working with Congress. Okay. So I have to figure out how I was going to do that. So I spent all weekend compiling all of this stuff. What I thought was only going to take me about an hour or two, to get to Senator Dianne Feinstein's office in San Francisco ended up being a lot bigger of a project. And I kept trying to figure out, should I take it from this angle? Should I take it from this angle? This angle? And finally what I came up with is a 22-page paper. And what, I'm going to have it up on Amazon here shortly, and it's called Genocide, America's Love Affair with Al-Qaeda. The man that ICE, the 20-year saga of the man that ICE can't deport because of everybody else. Okay, well, here's that title again. Genocide, America's Love Affair with Al-Qaeda, the 20-year saga of the man ICE can't deport because of everybody else. Okay, so that's a summary. Yes, and you know what? And I wrote out, it was actually shocking and heartbreaking to me when I was writing this out, because I had to write out all of the people that I know of that are already missing, and most of those people are my family. And then I had to write out, who I thought was probably missing as well, or what people, individuals, or groups of people would have information and would be maybe like a high risk group. Do you know what I'm saying? So like, okay, for example, the asshole did mortgage loans. So people in his mortgage company, like Summerlin Mortgage Company, could be at very, very high risk, if our own government or the terrorists wanted to take them out, just to prevent them from either talking or telling anybody. Or let's just say someone from Summerlin Mortgage Company moved to another city or state or something, and then was, found out about this and was like, wait, hey, I know him. Wait a minute, he worked for us. I mean, that kind of thing. See, this is what happens when the government doesn't do things right. And when the government does malicious and evil things, because for whatever reason. I mean, there's a number of reasons why that they have done this, but I spent all weekend doing that and came up with a 22-page paper. And then, of course, I need to send it to members of Congress that care about these kinds of situations. So, you have to hit it from the foreign affairs angle. Of course, you have to hit it from the homeland security angle. And because there's legal issues, you got to hit it with the judiciary. Okay, so very, very important. So I think once Congress sees that there is an illegal alien that is considered by our government to be a threat to national security and was identified as that back in 2005, And then now and then they let him go. They let him walk, which is, I think, the fault of the FBI. But, you know, they let him walk out of the North Las Vegas Detention Center. And now we have the effects of that. And the effects of that is called witness tampering for all of these groups of people, many different ways. So, you know, that's why I said it was very heartbreaking to have to summarize that. And then, of course, try to market that this morning. But hopefully that will at least, you know, crack open up a big investigation in Congress, you know, because once they see it as a population crime and that the country's in trouble, you know, a lot of people don't agree with this, other law enforcement, and I know that, despite me being angry, I mean, I know that. And then, of course, you know, we have the international criminal law factors. And once they see that in the bigger picture, perhaps maybe they'll start holding some people accountable within the United States. But unfortunately, I had to put that paper together. That took me all weekend, working in different ways. Okay, so like we guys are all out having fun. I was doing that. No, it's kind of like another favor to the country because I want this asshole thrown in prison. But, you know, at the same time, it's like, how many people are they gonna like just, you know, let disappear? I mean, I know that they're after me. So anyway, like I said, you can get that on Amazon probably here in the next hour or so. But okay, aside from that, and then of course I have my everyday life to deal with. Whether or not I'm going to work this week and what kind of scams they're going to come up with at the hospital. And I'm sure that there'll be tons of scams. I don't even know if I'm working yet tomorrow. I had to like turn off my phone and like turn off like Skype and stuff because I kept getting interfered with today. I was trying to do some very, very important things lobbying Congress and I got interfered with. Okay, now strangely, you know, I'm trying to like sign up for this Homeland Security Master's program with Capella. Well, you know, I haven't heard from him in a week or so. Then all of a sudden today, I get a phone call. Oh, we don't have you enrolled yet. You got to fill out this form to get your transcripts. I'm like, dude, I looked at my computer thing about a week or so ago when I was doing this whole application process. And apparently you guys already have my transcripts. But I mean, you know, they try to interfere with that. And then, you know what, see, here's something very, very strange. Okay, so now, it was a video or two back. All right, see, the Indio Police Department had taken a report when I had this jackass that apparently had a key to my room, this, you know, my hotel room. And then, you know, I wanted to add on to that report, and I call back the Indio Police Department, and then, you know, the lady on the phone is telling me that there's no information in the report. I'm like, I got a card with a report number that specifically says, you know, the Indio Police need your help. Call back this number if you know more or something. And then I do that. And apparently nothing was written in the report. So that's like kind of like fraudulent misrepresentation that the police took a report. I mean, hell, I showed the officer my ICE letter. I offered the police officer, you know, the name and even phone number of Special Agent Paul Burkholder or anybody in the Marshal Service that knows my case if they felt like that they needed to contact people that know my case. And he refused to take that for whatever reason. And so, you know what, and I got thinking about things because, you know, so I said I was doing this paper over the weekend and it's pretty horrific, this paper. Talking about, you know, the conditions of my family and so forth. And I got thinking back about the kids. And I thought to myself, you know what, if this same scam has been pulled here in Indio, is there a possibility that it could have been pulled also in Calexico, California, when I made the official missing persons report on the kids? I mean, I don't know. See, here's the thing. Officer Kunick took the report. He called me when you know what, I was so upset when I was in the police investigation room that I had called Special Agent Paul Burkholder with Homeland Security Investigations when I was in the interview room. And, you know, I'm saying, nobody will take a report of myself. Nobody will take a report. Nobody will take a report. And then, you know, he said, okay, I'll call him. I'm like, okay. I'm like, and he was then he was like starting to give me a hard time. I'm like, I'm just going to go run to Border Patrol. And then I crossed and went over to Mexico. Because, well, I ran into Mexico before I ran into a Border Patrol agent. And then he called me over there. Well, apparently, I'm just looking at the timeline, because I got some calls with that phone number right when I crossed the border into Mexico. And then, you know, like hours later, I listened to my voicemail, and then he had given me a report number. But in the intermix, and then I called Deputy Joe Harkin. Okay, but anyway, but apparently a report number exists for the kids. Okay, so it's my understanding that the Marshal Service can pick up the children if there is a police report. Now, technically, the police were supposed to get the kids into the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children. I got my son in without making a police report. But then I had the police report, and then, I tied Brooke on into it. And then it's like, it's like as soon as the marshals could get a hold of that, I mean, really, they could just tie in, like, all the kids, if in fact that they're missing. Like, any kid that would be linked into this, they could just suck it all up. Okay, but you know what? Here's the deal. I'm not sure I haven't got an update, so I wasn't sure. And see, and here's the thing. Even if the police officer Koenig that took this report, okay, Koenig, I believe is his name. What if he see, this is what I get thinking, because remember, I'm dealing with bad FBI agents and the CIA guy. What if he took the report? What if he took the report and then, usually it goes to a detective, because see, he's the report taker, so then it goes to a detective. And I got thinking, well, what if the detective didn't do anything with it? Or what if he couldn't do anything with it? Or what if he wanted to do something with it, but he couldn't because he had to talk it over with the city attorney, and the city attorney said no or something, because the DOJ is supposed to be handling it because it's a complex case. Like, I was thinking of all possibilities. All possibilities in this situation. Is it possible that the police report that I initially made, it went south? Okay, that's what I said. It's like all these guys have to do is threaten somebody, pay somebody off, slap some kind of crap on them, and everything could go to hell. Everything could go to hell with these kids' case. So I thought, I'm going to call the Marshal Service myself up in Washington. Call them up there in Washington, and I tell them. And so I did. At first, I talked to, I called the marshals, so I talked to a couple different divisions. And so, you know what? And so I just said, and then they wanted me to, send it to them. And I said, I got this letter from ICE that talks about WITSEC, the kids weren't in it. I'm like, I got the police report. I got the number for the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Like, I have the report number, So can you guys pick them up like you did Pete Earp's kids up in Alaska? I mean, it was that kind of a thing. Because you know what? I don't really know. Who knows? You know what? The Calexico Police Department, they might have had to call Interpol. That's always a possibility too. They might have had to do that. But so I spent my morning doing that. Because that's why I said, when I don't get regular updates, I don't know what to think. And then see, on top of that, when I don't get regular updates, and then I know I'm getting hacked like I am here in Indio, in a work sting operation, then I don't know what to think. I know that there's something going on. So I look at all possibilities. What is going on? Like, for example, the police report in Calexico could have worked. It could have worked. But are they trying to take me out here in Indio? Which would knock off the police report in Calexico. Did the police report not go anywhere in Calexico? And they're just pretending that they are. And then I'm getting taken out in India. You see, these are the things I think of, all possibilities. And anything, when you're dealing with a bad FBI, CIA, Al-Qaeda task force, and Al-Qaeda, anything's possible. So then when I was in Calexico, I got a threatening phone call for some FBI agent, and I told him to shove it. So, that's why I said, in my situation, anything is possible. I'm going to live to see this terrorist thrown back in prison. I'm going to live to see justice for my family. And I'm going to live to see a whole FBI, CIA, Al-Qaeda task force and anybody that's worked in their conspiracy go to prison, whether that's within the United States or in a foreign country or even up with the ICC in The Hague. It's today's episode of Life Outside WITSEC. Don't fuck with me. Keep your stun gun handy. There's real criminals and terrorists out there. I'll see you next time.